This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. After a hot weekend, things are looking a lot better. We got up to 92 in Lexington yesterday. I'm Bill Bryant.
Oh, I'm Rebecca Smith. I'd say get that hot coffee ready. Maybe some of you having an iced coffee. I don't know. It's
That might be a good idea, huh?
hot out there.
Coming up on 6:30, Kentucky's Agriculture Commissioner passing along advice to help keep your credit card information safe while you're at the gas pump. That's ahead.
Today, Secretary of State John Kerry heads to London for emergency talks following Britain's decision to leave the EU.
And we're gearing up for the 4th of July. We'll have some tips for how you can stay safe while you celebrate. That and much more on WKYT This Morning.
And some of those temps, at least leading up to the first part of July, they're going to take a dive. Those showers and storms you see showing up on our Defender Radar Network, that's a front. It's going to bring some refreshing air for a few days, but it won't last. We'll track it coming up.
Okay, and let's get right to the news on your Monday.
Yeah, Kentucky's Agriculture Commissioner making some stops around the Bluegrass today to talk about the importance of safety when you're at the gas pump, and specifically scammers.
Well, right. These skimmers that run by scammers that can lead to your personal information being stolen. Ryan Quarles, along with several officers, will be demonstrating steps being taken against these credit card skimmers. Lots of people traveling right now for summer. He'll also offer ways you can avoid being victimized. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Lexington with the details on this. Hey, Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. When you're at a gas station, you cannot check to see if there is a skimmer waiting to scam your credit information inside the pump. That is because those skimmers are always hidden inside the pump. There's no visual indication really that you can always check for. Now, it only takes crooks about 30 seconds to pop off the panel here and then put that device inside of the gas pump. Once that device is inside, it then copies information from that credit card every time it is swiped at the pump. Now, police say that these cases are happening more and more in Lexington, and that is why pump inspectors and the state agriculture commissioner will be visiting Lexington today to explain why gas stations and customers can protect themselves. Here's what we've already learned. Some gas stations are putting tamper tape over their pump panels. So if you pull up to a pump and the tape is broken, keep on driving. Another line of defense, gas station employees, some are already starting to check their pumps for skimmers a couple times a day. Now, we do expect to hear much more from the Ag Commissioner when he stops in Lexington about 4 hours from now here at the Minute Mart. This is right off of I-75 and Ironworks Pike. He will be here at 10:30 this morning. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, Justin, to our alert desk, we're tracking an alert in Anderson County. Police made an arrest after an overnight shooting. The victim's son says his dad was shot during an argument over a weed eater. This happened last night on Versailles Road in Lawrenceburg. The victim was rushed to UK Hospital after he was shot in the chest. Police arrested Hugh Robinson at the scene. He's charged with attempted murder. And this morning we are working to learn more about the victim, including his condition. Bill?
A man remains in critical condition at UK Hospital this morning after being robbed and shot. Lexington police tell us the victim had just taken a taxi to the intersection of North Limestone and East 7th Street when 3 men jumped him. We have learned the victim's name. We are waiting for police to confirm that for us this morning. Police say they received other reports of burglaries and shots fired in that same area over the weekend. And they're trying to figure out if any of those cases are connected to the shooting.
Well, there will be a candlelit vigil this evening for a 10-year-old boy who was killed in a hit and run in Pulaski County. Stanley Turner died last Monday after a car hit him on Rocklet Creek Road. Police have not found the driver. Stanley's vigil will begin at 7:30 in the parking lot next to the Science Hill Post Office.
Now 6:34 on WKYT, and it certainly was a steamy, hot, humid weekend, and temperatures don't appear to be letting up, at least yet, as we get the week started.
It's really oppressive, right? WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell is at our first alert weather center.
Yeah, that's right, guys, and we have been tracking all that heat and humidity. We're going to do it again today, but once we get past today, things look pretty good for a few days. We'll be talking about daytime highs in the 70s, I think, at least for one day, maybe the upper 70s. That's quite the change. Right now we're running in the low to mid 70s throughout most of the area. Here's what we've got under Defender Radar Network. See some of these showers and thunderstorms that are trying to come together. See some of that action out around Owensboro and a little more upstream close to Dayton. That's moisture along the frontal boundary. That's going to drop in on us, and when it does, it's going to clean things up for us. Right now, we're in the low 70s here in Lexington. You can kind of see the breakdown, though, through the rest of the day. We'll max out somewhere in the upper 80s with heat index values a little bit warmer than that. But the cool stuff and comfortable stuff is coming. I'll track it here in just a couple of minutes, guys.
Hey, we'll see you then. Thanks.
Well, today, Secretary of State John Kerry is heading to London and Brussels for emergency talks with European leaders after Britain's stunning decision last week to leave the EU.
The fallout continues. Certainly, the talks come as financial markets around the world prepare for another day of uncertainty. Tina Krause has the latest from London.
Secretary of State John Kerry's European visit comes as British and EU leaders continue to weigh the impact of a messy divorce. Speaking in Rome, Secretary Kerry expressed support for both sides.
The most important thing is that all of us as leaders work together to provide as much continuity, as much stability, as much certainty as possible.
Exit negotiations are already proving complicated. British Prime Minister David Cameron, who announced he'd step down in the fall, is facing intense pressure to cut ties quickly. But former London Mayor Boris Johnson, who's in a bid to replace him, claims there's no need to rush, writing in the Daily Telegraph today that, quote, the negative consequences of the vote are being wildly overdone. Financial experts around the world remain concerned the Brexit could trigger a slowdown in the economy. Global stock markets suffered about $2 trillion in losses last week, and the British pound hit a 31-year low. World markets are bracing for another rocky day today.
You're going to have your heart in your mouth for a few days this week. I think you'll see the ups and downs, and the trend usually is upward over time.
Over the weekend, Scotland's leader promised she would do whatever it takes to stay in the EU.
I didn't create these situations. I've got to try to navigate the best way forward through them.
It's expected to take at least 2 years for Britain to officially break from the European Union. Tina Krause, CBS News, London.
And it appears that millions of UK residents now have buyer's remorse. An online petition for a new Brexit vote has gotten more than 3.5 million participants so far.
A Kentucky legislator wants to make it a hate crime to target police officers, firefighters, and EMS workers. State Representative Kevin Bratcher filed a bill saying we live in an age where people are targeted for who they are and who they represent. The proposed bill would make it a hate crime to target police officers, firefighters, and EMS workers.
If it is a murder and it goes to the death penalty, right, the hate crime legislation will not affect that. But on certain areas, it will enhance it, that if it's been proven that somebody attacked a police officer or a firefighter or an EMS simply because of what they were doing, then this will enhance the prosecution.
Killing a police officer is already a capital offense in Kentucky. Bratcher now wants first responders included in that.
Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton will be up the road in Cincinnati campaigning today. Clinton will hold a public event this morning at the Cincinnati Museum Center. Senator Elizabeth Warren is also expected to be with her in the key state of Ohio. Last night, Clinton was at a private fundraiser at Mayor John Cranley's house. And we checked out Republican Donald Trump's schedule. He does not have any fundraisers or appearances listed for today. Well, the 4th of July now upon us, really just a week away from today. Lexington firefighters are already warning people about fireworks safety.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to be cautious with them. It's illegal, by the way, to shoot them within city limits, but if you do shoot them someplace else, it's important to keep a few safety tips in mind. WKYT's Mike Byer is joining us live with more on how we can stay safe. Good morning.
Good morning, Rebecca. It's hard to believe, but 4th of July is 1 week away. And if you're going to shoot off fireworks, the Lexington Fire Department wants you to be safe in doing so. Now, the fire department recommends that you follow these safety tips if you do shoot off fireworks. They say to shoot them off in wide open spaces, never hold them in your hands, and always have an extinguisher or bucket of water or even a bucket of sand available nearby. Now, they offer these tips even though shooting fireworks off in the city is illegal. Kentucky laws also prohibit fireworks from being used within 200 feet of a structure. Captain Chris Bartley says every year the fire department responds to some kind of firework-related incident, and that this year they don't want to see anyone get hurt.
Well, we just want to get a safety message out there that nationally there's about 11,000 injuries that are due to fireworks, and we just want everybody to be cautious if they are using them.
Now, we know it's fun to shoot off fireworks, but after hearing that, we might want to leave it to the pros, the kind of pros that'll be shooting off the fireworks from the Arboretum that'll fill up the sky over Commonwealth Stadium 1 week from today on 4th of July, starting at 9 o'clock. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
All right, well, always best to be safe. Thank you very much, Mike. 2015 was a big year for the Voice winner and Kentucky native Jordan Smith, but 2016 might top it. Smith and his fiancée Kristen Denny tied the knot this weekend. People magazine reports the two of them were married in Middlesboro. Smith proposed to Denny shortly after winning the Voice last year. So I guess he's on a roll right now, right?
Oh, yeah, living
More
the
ways than one.
dream, living the dream. Let's check to see how traffic is moving. Hopefully it's a dream for you.
Let's see how things are going. Here's Officer Don with a check on live drive traffic. Hey, Don, good morning.
Good morning. Just had a look at inbound Tates Creek Road past Man of War. That turned out to be a stalled car, not a wreck, so all lanes are open through the intersection. On the north side, Newtown Pike, North Broadway look okay. New Circle and Boardwalk, a little slowdown on the inner loop there, and that's about it. Let's get a live look at Lexington traffic flow right now and zoom in toward downtown. We're looking good. As far as our drive times go, no problems to report. Coming in from Nicholasville, normal traffic flow, same deal coming in from Paris. Now, Harrodsburg and Pasadena, courtesy of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's traffic camera, we can see traffic through the crossover is moving steady. Now back to you in the studio.
Don, thank you so much. And you can get the latest traffic and weather info anytime with the WKYT Weather Plus traffic app. Download it for free in the app or Google Play Store, so you have that information right at your fingertips. Hey, it's great to have you with us on WKYT this morning, rolling toward the 7 o'clock hour on your Monday. Much more coming up. Time right now, 6:41.
A new tourist attraction in downtown Los Angeles. Oh, this looks so scary. Oh, man, are you scared of that? We'll have a look at this new Sky Slide, if you dare. What do you think, Jim? Is it your taste?
It looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait. 71 right now in Lexington. Likely end up in the upper 80s, close to 90 degrees before some changes. A downward spiral coming here in just a few minutes.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
A little on the hazy side to start this Monday morning off. As we look back toward downtown, you can kind of see the haze still hanging out here with us. But what will happen over the next few days, the energy that we have that will work through Kentucky today will change the scenery up a little bit. You might have a nice clear picture all the way toward the downtown area. It's 71 degrees in Lexington right now with the winds trying to come in out of the north-northwest. We'll get a drier source of air coming soon, and that's going to hang out, I think, through midweek. Very pleasant conditions trying to set up for a few days. Right now, across Kentucky, 70s very common. Upper 60s hanging out in Middlesboro, only place you see on the entire map showing that. The rest of it's low to mid 70s. Very warm and muggy start to your Monday with some clouds around as well. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to run into some showers and even some thunderstorms as we progress into the day. What we have just up to our north is a frontal boundary. And you can see that the showers are coming together a little bit better, stretching from Columbus now back to Dayton, a little more organization to the line. So that's your front. And it's important because when it dives through Kentucky, it's going to bring us better chances of rain and that drier air mass that I'm talking about. Let's get it in here and get it through town. There you see better chances of rain later today, especially into eastern Kentucky. Looks like it's going to run into a better widespread showers down there, but it won't last forever. They'll clear up. Skies will start to clear. We might have a passing shower linger into the early morning on Tuesday. Other than that, things are looking a whole lot better. You can see the skies clearing into the daytime hours. Not talking about at night clearing things up. I'm talking about plenty of sunshine, but cooler temperatures coming and lower humidity levels. That's the important thing here. Everywhere you find the color green, that's showing us where the air is a little more on the humid side. Now, the darker shading, that's when it's at its peak. That's when we're talking about tropical air mass. And guess where it is today? Right here in Kentucky. Very humid stuff. But it retreats with the passing of that front and another little shot of drier air that comes in. When you see the green disappear, you're in pretty good shape. We're drying everything up, the rain chances and the humidity. So with the humidity dropping, refreshing air returns to the area. It is going to be fantastic for at least a few days out there. 7-day forecast will show you the temperatures that will go along with the lower humidity. 84 and lower humidity is not bad. 79 and low humidity, that's downright fantastic. Daytime highs in the upper 70s, low 80s continue for a couple of days before we bring rain back, of course, as we head into the first part of July. First day of July, as a matter of fact. It's rolling back in here with a little more heat, guys.
And it looks like some of that rain for the weekend, which will be different from the heat and humidity. It was oppressive over the weekend, wasn't it?
It was tough.
Brutal out there.
Yeah, you know, I'll admit it stopped me, but it didn't stop you, Bill, because you've been just making us feel bad and guilty about that all morning long, haven't you?
Get out there and jog. It was a struggle. The struggle was real.
Absolutely not. I will not do it. I refuse.
All right, 640. You would do this, though, what we're going to talk about here.
Yes,
You've told us, all right?
Have fun with that by yourself. If you're brave enough to try it, plan on visiting California if that's what you're going to do. The LA Sky Slide is now open to the public.
Ah, there they are. Los Angeles' latest tourist attraction is 70 stories high. It's a sky slide, an enclosed glass slide 45 feet wide and high above the city. The slide is spread throughout 4 different floors of the U.S. Bank Tower. 2,200 people rode the sky slide on its opening day. If it looks like something you're interested in, it's a total of $33 to enjoy some of that high sliding.
Nothing like high sliding fun, right?
Right.
If you dare.
I think I'll keep my $33.
I'm with you on that one, Bill.
But some folks certainly enjoying it. All right, we have a lot more news coming up on WKYT on your Monday morning.
Stay with us.
Ahead on CBS this morning, we're tracking fresh fallout from Brexit in the United Kingdom. We're also taking a closer look at what it means for the presidential campaign and today's markets. And we're out with the National Guard in West Virginia as it works to save people and animals from historic flooding. All of that and more. The news is back in the morning, and we'll see you with it at 7.
6:52 on WKYT this morning. We're tracking an alert out of Louisville right now. Police have just arrested a man accused in a triple murder from over the weekend. Our partners in Louisville, WLKY, say the suspect is William Mason Jr. He is now charged with 3 counts of murder. The victims were found shot to death inside a Louisville home that had the front window broken out. Police say the men were shot several times. The victims' names have not been released, but again, Louisville police have just confirmed that William Mason Jr. has been arrested for this weekend's triple murder case. A possible motive for the killings has not been released at this point. Rebecca.
Thank you, Bill. Secretary of State John Kerry travels to Brussels and London today after Britain's vote to leave the European Union. Kerry will meet with European and British leaders to discuss the historic decision. Over the weekend, Scotland's leader suggested she'd do whatever it takes to stay in the bloc, including withholding Scotland's consent to Britain leaving. World markets are bracing for another rocky day after suffering about $2 trillion in losses following what's known as the Brexit. Well, Great Britain's economy isn't the only thing that's been derailed. Check out this roller coaster that crashed at a theme park in Scotland. Several people, 7 to be exact, were hurt when the coaster fell off the rails. Yikes. A witness said people were trapped upside down. The park was evacuated. The investigation into this is ongoing.
An 11-year-old boy is now recovering after a shark bite. Officials say the shark bit him while he was surfing at Atlantic Beach, North Carolina on Saturday afternoon. The boy sustained severe injuries on his foot. He was taken to the hospital. He has received treatment for his wounds. Authorities say this is the second shark bite in 2 weeks in the area. The beach remains open after those 2 reported incidents.
The death toll from heavy flooding in West Virginia now stands at 24. The floodwaters are receding from some parts of the state that were inundated after heavy rain, but the break could be short-lived because forecasters say more rain is coming. The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood watch for the entire day today. The service says the soil is saturated, so new rain could cause more flooding. With the current death toll, the flood is the nation's deadliest since 2010.
And of course, it is our bordering state, and communities across the Mountaineer state are rallying together to help families suffering after the flooding. And here in Kentucky, softball teams collected donations for victims at Slammerfest. High schoolers from across the Commonwealth and in West Virginia tried to catch the eye of college scouts. And the Lady Aces didn't have a complete team because of the severe flooding. Some girls couldn't make the trip or they lost their houses. Their coach did not go home empty-handed, though. Other teams donated towels, razors, shampoo, and some other things for the ball field as well. A very difficult time, again, just next door to us there in West Virginia. The Supreme Court will issue 3 more opinions today before taking a summer break. The cases concern regulation of Texas abortion clinics, the corruption conviction of former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, and a federal law barring people convicted of domestic violence from having guns. The death of Justice Antonin Scalia and a lack of confirmation of a new appointee has left the court shorthanded, resulting in a couple of 4-4 decisions last week.
The Kentucky State Fair is about 2 months away, and the State Fair Board has more than 150 positions to fill. The board is now hiring and accepting applications through July 29th. Positions include admissions, security, and traffic control. If you're interested in applying, we have information how you can do that on WKYT.com. The State Fair runs this year from August 18th to the 28th.
The expanding University of Kentucky looking to add a new parking garage on campus. The Herald Leader reporting that UK is in talks with the city to build a garage on Jersey Street. That runs off Maxwell Street and behind several businesses on South Limestone. According to our news partners, UK is looking to build a multi-story parking structure that would have retail spaces on the ground level. So that could be an interesting development, and we'll continue to catch up on that.
And hopefully an interesting development with the weather. Maybe it'll get a little bit cooler out there, Jim.
We're looking for relief.
And we're going to get it, guys. We have a front that's driving some showers and storms just to our north, and those will eventually pay us a visit around here as well. But what it will also do is bring in some much better air. Here's what we have with our muggy meter, the conditions over the next few days. And today, it's downright tropical, so it's going to be smothersome when you're outside for an extended period of time, or if you're out there for just a few minutes, you're going to notice it. But Tuesday into Wednesday, things are looking a whole lot better in the humidity department and beyond. Look at that. Daytime highs as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, upper 70s, low 80s. Now that is not what you expect as you go into July, right?
That was very emphatic,
and
wasn't
it's
it?
good.
Just got to drive it home. Home.
Nobody's more up to date than you to start your day. Thank you so much for being with us here on WKYT.
Have a great one.